Well, good evening, and welcome, and thank you so much for joining me this Saturday night on Talking Sip Saturday night. Today is the first of the sixth. Today is the first of June. My son's birth month actually, 1st of June. We're halfway in the year.
Low battery.
Halfway in the year. Get my battery sorted out here, and for those joining me on TikTok, I want to thank you so much for joining, and that's very awesome. For those joining me on YouTube, and for those joining me on Facebook, and for those joining me on Instagram as well, I want to thank you so much for joining. Hey Vita, Carlotte, and for those joining me all over the world, in the King's Manor, in the dual citizenship zone. As a matter of fact, I need to add here because I've got a British label here, so I want to put on my Jamaica label. Land of dual citizens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's go there. Let's do it. Land of dual citizen. Power to the dual citizen and so like that. My topic tonight, as you can see, is where's unpatriotism in dual citizens? Where's unpatriotism in dual citizens? But, ladies and gentlemen, my question to you is, what are you drinking tonight? I'm having some actually ginger tea because my throat was feeling a bit awkward, ginger and lemon tea. So, and as you can see, my cup actually says, be still and know that I'm God. Be still and know that I'm God. Be still and know that I'm God. And of course, I've got my complement of wine, and also some sparkling water as well for tonight. And of course, I'll have my regular guest here tonight, and we see a go. And I must say, that tonight, if you want to actually call in, there's a calling number actually. Yes, there's a calling number. I'm going to have that number up there shortly. I don't know where that number is, but there's a calling number where you can actually call in. Yes, to the show. Yes, you can call in. That will be up shortly. And Michelle Clark, balance and wellness to you, Silburn. Thank you for that, Michelle, as well. The telephone number to call in actually later is, and I'll put it up shortly anyhow still. But there's a telephone number that one can call in later on the show. I'll type it up shortly in a few seconds, but it is +44 7764 978 716. I'll put that up shortly. +44 7764 978 716. +44 7764 978 716. One of the things about unpatriotism in dual citizenship, in this world discourse surrounding national loyalty and identity, the concept of dual citizenship often comes under scrutiny. Critics argues that holding citizenship in two countries, UK, Jamaica, can dilute one's allegiance and compromise national interests. However, this perspective warrants a deeper examination. Is it inherently unpatriotic to hold dual citizenship? Or does the viewpoint overlook the complexities and potential benefits of such a status? What do you say? Dual citizens often find themselves straddling two worlds, bringing unique perspectives and strengths from both. Their experiences and insight can enrich the fabric of the societies they belong to, fostering a cross-cultural understanding and cooperation, And moreover, dual citizens can facilitate global mobility, enabling individuals to contribute economically and socially in multiple contexts. Patriotism is not a zero-sum game. It is possible to love and to be loyal to more than one country. You hear that? It is possible. Really? Can it be? The true measure of patriotism lies not in the exclusivity of one's citizenship, but in their actions, you know, contributions, and the values they uphold. In a globalized world where borders are increasingly fluid, and this is really powerful, borders are increasingly being fluid and interconnectedness is the norm. The traditional norms of loyalty and identity are evolving, ladies and gentlemen, is evolving. Therefore, instead of questioning the patriotism of dual citizens, we should embrace the diverse allegiances that dual citizen presents. By doing so, we can harness the potential of individuals who embody the strength of multiple nations and contribute to a more inclusive, interconnected world. Now, today I was in the park, and of course, I always find a moment and do a couple of videos. I did one on dual citizenship for life, and I did one on Dan Abbott, our esteemed member of parliament who have been serving for 37 years, and a lot of issues have been happening there. But one of the things that I said is that all the persons that have been caught up in the whole wrangling of dual citizens, even from Vaz and CERN from those time in 2007, I have not heard or I have not seen any evidence of them being disloyal, of them being not aligned to Jamaica, not being unpatriotic. As a matter of fact, maybe there's question as to those who are not dual citizens are maybe more unpatriotic, more disloyal to the cause of Jamaica. Now, that is something to be looked at. So I will keep it having this conversation and keep maintaining the discussion in this particular area, because I believe it is very important and leading towards a constitutional reform and leading towards any general election and leading towards anything. I believe this is so important. So I'm going to bring in Herbert. Hey, Herbert, how are you doing, buddy?
How you doing, boss? You all right?
Yeah, I'm cool in the Malibu, man. Can't complain. I mean, chilling in the dual
Yeah.
citizen land, you know. See, I got my two badges here, England and do you think I'm being facetious and creating trouble?
No, you're just being real, because like a guy in America said, or was it O'Neill? O'Neill said, created in Jamaica but made in America.
created,
Right?
created in
Yeah. So something along that line. And I think that's a powerful statement, because Jamaica has, after you reach 18 years old, Jamaica does not have much to offer anyone.
Sorry,
So
you said Jamaica don't have much to offer anyone? Is that what you said?
after 18, no.
Oh, after 18 years of age?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you really have to step out. It's like you're living in your parents' house. You attain the age of 18.
Yes.
Now you're bordering on the line of adulthood, independent, living in your parents' house, having to hear what they tell you to do, and you have to do it because you're still under their roof. Right? So when you move up, you are now a solely independent entity, responsible for your own actions, responsible for your own bills.
Yes.
Right? And then you can say, yes, I am a man. Now, the only successful, one of the few successes that has ever gone overseas to study or work is Usain Bolt. He decided to go pro. It worked for him. Yes?
Yes.
But other people in academia, in sport, in medicine, they have had to go overseas to to develop themselves financially, educationally, because Jamaica cannot you cannot do it in Jamaica. You do not have the financial stability to do it. And the Jamaican government isn't going to say, you know what, I've watched your growth from you up until the age of 20. Come, let me take you under my wing and develop you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it now that for someone who is ambitious, has taken it upon themselves to travel overseas to develop themselves,
Yeah.
so they can make a family for themselves, be independent? You're going to tell me that I'm not patriotic because I have left Jamaica to go overseas to better my life?
And to build up yourself, and to build up your
Yeah.
your base, and build up your family,
Yes.
and also to contribute to Jamaica at the same time.
How many veterans have ended up in the Mona rehab? That was created by Professor John Golding, father of Mark Golding, who came here to develop his skills so he could go back to Jamaica to help the Jamaicans. So when people talk about patriotism, before you understand the meaning of the word, don't say.
The some of the hallmarks of as I said, patriotism is complex. It's a multifaceted concept that encompasses love, devotion, commitment to a country. You know, love and pride for one country, most fundamental, civic responsibility, support for national interest, defense and protection, and I could go on. But one of the things that in the world debate, and I won't get into the laws and the legalities of it, because that has been hammered in so many times with Section 39 and Section 40, whereby fellow Jamaicans need to understand without a shadow of a doubt that the Constitution do allow for Mr. Golden to be where he is legally, and the Constitution do allow Matthew Samuda to be where he is legally, and he doesn't have to renounce anything. I just don't understand what is this whole thing about he renounced and he's putting pressure on Mark to renounce and so like that. You're operating within the Constitution. You're operating within the laws. And that is something which is clearly and so fundamental. And therefore, you know, one of the things which I'm not able to grapple with, and is where any of these persons who are so-called caught up in the American side of the dual citizenship thing,
Yeah.
and the British side, have they displayed you know any form of disloyalty or unpatriotism to Jamaica? You know, have they? I can't see any,
No, it's a sign that they have ambition and they're progressive,
yeah.
right? One could argue that a politician who is involved in high level of corruption
Yes.
is not patriotic because he's bringing shame and disgrace to Jamaica, right? On the other hand, there are some who will argue that being a politician is showing one's patriotism, overlooking the the illegal activities and unethical activities that he's involved in, he or she is involved in,
Yeah.
right? But they're going for the low-hanging fruit, which is people have two passports,
Yes.
right? Now, how many people have left Jamaica, couldn't go to university in Jamaica because we could not fit, we could not fulfill the prerequisite skills to step onto the campus of a university in Jamaica,
Yeah.
but have been able to fulfill that dream overseas
Mm.
with the hope of one day go back
Yes.
and contribute something to Jamaica.
Yes.
Is that not patriotism?
Yes. To
Or
definitely,
is
you're
it a
right.
sellout?
You're right. To definitely. I mean, some could even argue based on, and I'm going to use the words allege, and I don't know if it's allege or so, but it is said that even like the Prime Minister, for argument's sake, not being able to have statutory declaration being certified, and issues about having what should I say, properties overseas and all those sort of things and accounts. One could say, well, maybe that's unpatriotic. I
Yeah.
mean, to be unpatriotic, at the same time. So where do you draw the line as what is patriotism, Yeah.
So before you kick the football, before you kick the political football down the street, right? Understand what it means to be patriotic,
Yes.
right? Understands what it means to work in Jamaica, not being able to pay your bills,
Yeah.
but you're still required to go to work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Understand what it means to be patriotic. When you go to work, you don't know if you're going to make it back home because of the level of job that you're doing, the the degree of uncertainty when you're out there on the street working.
Mm.
I serve the Jamaica Constabulary Force. No shame about that. I'm happy to do it.
Mm.
And if I had to live my life again, I would do it.
Mm.
But does that mean that now that I'm living overseas mean that I'm not patriotic enough?
Yeah. 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 It is very interesting, and I'm gonna go, travel back. I'll come back to the UK here as we're in the UK, and we'll come back into this bit more. But like Dan about, for argument's sake, Dan about with that word issue recently. Dan Abbott is. I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Abbott have a Jamaican passport. I wouldn't be surprised, because she's entitled to it. I'm not surprised if Dawn Butler have a Jamaican passport. She's entitled to it. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not surprised if Janet Davy, who is the MP for Lewisham, her mother is Jamaican, have a Jamaican passport. You know what I'm trying to say? And they're
Because
actually sitting in
there,
Parliament in the UK.
there are three ways you can become a Jamaican:
Yes. Mm.
birth, naturalization, or marriage.
Yes.
Right? Now, how many Jamaicans in Jamaica are Jamaicans that weren't born in Jamaica,
Yeah.
but they have so chosen to make Jamaica their home? Are you telling me that those people now are now facing the prospects of of people telling them go back where you're from?
Yes. I,
That's
I've
homophobic.
yeah. I find it a complete should I say slap in the face, because I actually just saw earlier a video with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Camilla Johnson Smith, and apparently she said her name is being muddled up in this whole thing. And she said her mother is born in Jamaica, her father is born in Jamaica, she's born in Jamaica, so therefore she's full Jamaican. And then she said something to that extent like, "But Marky British is British." And I'm saying, come on, where did that come from? You know what I'm trying to say? And just because what she said, that doesn't mean to say she didn't have a dual citizenship. She could have another passport or so. But the point about it is that it is like there's a need for persons to grow up, or to have adults in the world, because when you look at it in a way, the average Jamaican haven't read the Constitution. The average Jamaican doesn't know what Section 39 and Section 40 talks about, that a person with a dual from the Commonwealth is entitled to run once they are there for over a year. And the Constitution Reform Committee, Herbert, guess what it has said? It has even said that the president can be is a Commonwealth person. I mean to say they don't
Yeah,
have to be a Jamaican.
but see, bro, Do you remember a couple of years ago when the US canceled the visa of certain MPs,
Mm.
right? They couldn't leave the island to go to their favorite playing ground, Miami.
Yes.
Do you remember the arguments that were going around, right? Where people are talking about it's a slap in the face where an MP cannot travel to conduct government business in the US.
Uh,
No, if you're so patriotic, why do you want to go do business elsewhere?
mm.
You know, can I hear it, man?
Yeah, but on behalf of the government
Yeah.
or so, on behalf of the government or
No,
so,
but
they're
see, bro.
one can expect them to be traveling on a diplomatic passport or something like that to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to.
Silver. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we understand that,
Uh,
right? But when a man parents is born over came a man parents traveled overseas and they were conceived in a foreign land,
mm.
does that make them any less a Jamaican than the
Mm.
person who was born at Victoria Jubilee or up by Mona Hospital? Yeah. So we have to be
Sorry, I had to play the music to welcome Michelle.
Really?
drum roll.
Hello, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
What's up, Michelle? Yeah.
I'm good, Michelle. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
How's the president?
Boy, may I tell you now?
Well, which one?
Which one? That's something else. That's something else, man. You should have seen my area here in Claremont where I live. It's mostly
Yeah.
why when them come out with a verdict there,
Mostly what? Mostly what?
Mostly
Trump
Orange
supporters.
Jesus supporters, man.
Yeah.
What were they doing? What were they saying? What were they?
Oh, the main highway, Highway 50, where I'm off of in a way,
Yeah.
and Hancock, where that's my it was crazy.
Uh,
Hundreds, hundreds. You know how
uh,
much them raised on that day? You know
24
how much
million.
million raised fee?
34 million, I heard.
53.
No, 34 million raised the same day.
The
34
same day,
counts.
34.
Listen,
I know it's gone to
listen,
50.
listen.
Wait. Let Michelle finish up with it. Michelle, yeah.
Mm-hmm. 34. But you sit and you think, just like how we're talking about the dual citizen in Jamaica, and
Yeah.
people is making a big deal out of it, that they don't think the president should have dual citizen. When which we think that there's bigger fish to fry than to be thinking about that,
Uh,
right? But think about it here in the United States. You have people that serve time in jail
mm,
and they come out and they can't vote.
mm,
But yet still you have a man that was a president before, got indicted on 36 charges,
34, yeah, 34
30,
charge.
right? And still can't run as a president, to
And
be
was
president.
convicted. Sorry,
And
charged,
was
but
convicted and
yeah.
still can run as president. I can't see that.
And actually they're actually saying that, yeah, you're right about that. Persons with any felony or something like that, they're banned.
Yeah. You serve your time, you come out, you can't vote. But yet since you have been convicted and you can still run for president. Now tell
Okay.
me if
Yeah.
it's just something
Well,
wrong.
Herbert.
there's something definitely wrong. And
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. As far as I'm hearing now, there's only one person in America that is clean like a whistle, clean like Jesus police record.
Robert Kennedy.
Never do nothing yet. No.
Oh.
The orange Jesus. Is innocent.
Oh.
Yes? But how innocent can you be when people are making allegations against you and they're being proven? So all those people are making up stories against you. Are you that special that nobody should investigate it? Remember, Michael Cohen went to prison for him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Michael Cohen when Michael Cohen got released from prison, he started to write his book, Revenge. And when that book was almost to be released, Bill Barr sent him back to prison. Yeah? Because he's talking about individual one, as Bill Barr told SDNY to refer to him.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I'm surprised that he wasn't charged right after he left office in 2021. The DOJ and the SDNY is also complicit for allowing him to run as president again. He should not have been allowed to.
Well, I guess go on, Robert. Yes.
He only declared his candidacy because he wanted to keep himself out of prison.
I don't think. I think he was already focused on that presidency
on that presidency.
No, just because he didn't want to go to prison.
No. I believe he was already focused.
I think he's just a psycho.
No, Silburn.
I don't know.
Donald Trump wanted to keep himself out of prison. He thought running for president.
Because he knows they won't imprison him, even though he has been convicted.
Yes.
Right. So he thought running for president was enough to keep him out of the courthouse.
Huh? What was that?
He thought running for president was enough to keep him out of the courthouse.
No, even if he didn't run for president, once he was a president, they wouldn't let him serve.
But anyways, But anyway, still, we'll see how that unfolds. July the 11th, there's going to be the sentencing. More than likely, they said in normal circumstances, that's 100-year. That's 100-year sentence.
Yeah, for the normal black man
incarcerated.
For the normal black man.
And he says that November is going to be the day of reckoning, whereby
for the normal black man who's not a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, for the Democrats either, because Joe
Wesley Snipes went to prison for not paying his taxes.
Sorry?
Wesley Snipes went to prison for not paying his taxes.
Who?
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, the movie star.
Oh, did he?
He went to prison for not paying his taxes.
Mm-hmm.
But Donald Trump did not pay his taxes for about 20-something years. And he said he was smart.
I don't know about that for the complications, but let's leave Donald Trump.
Okay, so what I'm saying now is that there's not, the Constitution in Jamaica is not that you have to give up your dual citizen, right? It's just like how other people would look at how the prime minister's wife is the speaker of the house.
There you go.
And they say that it's not against the constitutional rights, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. I can't understand why people are the way they are. You know, I'm not JLP, me no PNP, straight up.
Yeah.
Because I think not both of them need for putting a barrel and roll out a sea and start all over again. But there it is now. The big fuss was that the prime minister's wife was a speaker of the house, and it's a conflict of interest when which I think it is,
Yes.
but
I think
Steve
every good.
Wonder can see.
huh?
Yeah, I think
Steve
any
Wonder
good.
see.
Yeah.
Exactly. And at the time when it happened, didn't them say Mark Golden went along with it?
Yeah, I think it was what's his name, Peter, the one whose girlfriend whose baby died, Philip
Philip
Paulette.
Powell.
It was Philip Paulette who sort of seconded it, who
Oh,
seconded the whole thing for
For
the
Julia Ho-
Juliet Holness, and also it was the PNP also they said it was okay with the 300% increase as well for the parliamentarians, at the same time. I think the whole thing has sort of push has come to a shove now, and there are a lot of question signs, there are a lot of question marks over the head of the key politicians in Jamaica, and this whole thing now, which is going on with dual citizen, is like a red herring, a fundamental distraction.
yes,
Yeah.
that's the way I see it too.
Well,
You have
and
other things that you can campaign on,
Yeah.
and than that. What is that?
it is to show you that politicians these days, and I'm not only saying in Jamaica but across the world,
Across the world?
yeah, their mind, their vocabulary is limited, and their mind is small.
Mm.
Right? They have nothing. They have nothing about policy to campaign on. It is now reduced to personality clash.
Mm-hmm.
What you have and what you don't have,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that is how they're determining who is loyal and who is patriotic.
And then you have a bunch of
Yeah.
ignorant Jamaicans that does not know any better. So them
No.
go along with the foolishness.
No.
The citizens that don't know, that is not educated on these things to know, to say, we don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
We
So
want to
so
hear,
Silver.
Yes.
So me, you, and Michelle were fine, right?
Now I'm in no choice. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
all
So
right.
you have to know the Prime Minister keep talking about Jamaicans in the diaspora.
Yes.
We should help build the nation
And invest and invest and
and
invest.
invest in the nation.
Mm.
Are we, and I'm going to use a very strong term here, no apologies. Are we being used as prostitutes? Yeah? Because we should only come and give and give and give with no return. Yeah? We go to Jamaica, they want us to buy tickets to go vote. They want us to, when we holiday, we come to Jamaica. So Jamaica, the Jamaican economy can benefit from our coming to Jamaica.
But then they don't want us to have any part of making any
No,
kind of.
no,
Decision in the world
no,
of the
no,
political.
Them tell me that we
no,
don't know nothing. We don't know.
no. So what do you want from Jamaicans then?
Mm.
Is it that you only want Jamaicans in Jamaica to have a say in the future of that little island? We were all born, right? We're all born there. We all have an interest in the happenings of Jamaica. Not because we do not speak the same political language or we share the same political ideologies or we're the same color, means that we do not have Jamaica's best interests at heart.
I'll give you an example. I posted a video earlier today, Dual Citizens for Life. And the first comment came from someone. And he said, come out of Jamaican business, mind your own business in Britain. come out of Jamaica business when I was actually talking about the dual citizenship thing. And
Yeah.
this Jamaican, I don't know if he's in Jamaica or what, but he said, come out of Jamaica business, mind your own business, you know? And someone had to respond, to him and say, uh and say, should be trying to engage with the diaspora instead of alienating us. Remember, brain drain. Jamaica could benefit from the brain and resources of the diaspora. You know, like
Exactly what I'm saying.
and things that, and I believe that it's unfortunate that the politicians and leaders or the effective leadership in Jamaica is not actually saying that in a way, but they'll say it in the sense of lip service leading up to like a diaspora conference. But at the same time,
Yeah.
leading to a diaspora conference with all the different wranglings, I'd be surprised if persons who are deciding him to go maybe have changed their mind because they say, I don't see the rationale of me going to Jamaica and being slapped in my face each time when I
Yeah.
and saying that I need to give up my dual citizenship,
Yeah.
give up what I built for over the years,
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of looking at how I I can be utilized, how my expertise can be utilized in government
Yeah.
in some respect. Mm.
I mean, half of Jamaica's civil servants, and I'm just saying half because I don't know the figure,
Yes.
are probably holders of other passports apart from their Jamaican passports,
Yeah.
right? Because when they get their vacation, their 6 months holiday, they have to go overseas to work to balance things out. Yes?
Yeah. They have to, you
My
say.
police,
Mm-hmm.
my police brothers and sisters, they get upwards of 105 vacation days. Does not include Saturday, Sunday, public holidays, or if they have to go to court.
Uh,
And 105 days is half of the year. And if they take it, they can go to America or come to England and work for 5 months
mm.
and make twice as much as they would have made in Jamaica.
For a period of time. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have a US visa or a US passport.
A green card and stuff like
Are
that.
you not going to tell them that they have to rescind all those and pledge their allegiance to Jamaica?
If they want to, if they want to get into politics, let's balance that bit up
No,
there.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Let's put politics aside. They're serving Jamaica. The politicians are serving Jamaica.
Mm.
Right? They are serving Jamaica too. They are essential workers serving Jamaica. Are you telling me that in order for them to be a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force or the Jamaica Defense Force, they have to give up their green cards?
Yeah, but can I just say,
Yes?
that the Constitution is not determining or putting that onus upon person that you're saying?
You
Our
understand that,
police
Silver?
officers have to have only a Jamaican
No,
citizenship?
well, no.
No, they're
That's
saying it for the president. For the
yes,
president,
I
for the prime
understand that.
minister.
Yeah.
The president, the future president, current MPs, prime ministers, right? But I'm just thinking, I'm just going outside of the box.
Yes.
Yeah? They all bring something to the table in Jamaica,
Mm.
no matter what side of the table you're sitting on. If the man whose parents came to England to help build England
Mm.
and fell in love in England, their children were born here, but later decided to go back to Jamaica. Yes? The child still have their passport because what they want Jamaica cannot offer them. Are they telling that child that before you come to Jamaica, come with a Jamaican passport if you want to survive in Jamaica? And I've made a reference to the 98 World Cup qualifying team. Dion Burton, Paul Hall, Paul Simpson, Robbie Savage, Robbie Earl, all those guys were born here, but represented Jamaica. They were born in Jamaica, but at the time, at the time, people in Jamaica were making up noise that they shouldn't be playing for Jamaica because they were not Jamaicans. They were born here.
Yeah, there's a question which I got here, which saying on TikTok, do Jamaican politicians swear allegiance to the Queen of Jamaica or the King of England? What do you say about that in Parliament?
Well,
who do they swear to?
No,
who do they swear to?
I've never heard the oath since the Queen died.
It is to the King. They swear allegiance to the King.
I know when the court is being opened, right? Just like here, God save the King. It's in Jamaica. God save the King. When the High Court is being opened, so to the district courts, God save the King. Right? Because remember, his representative is still in Jamaica, the Governor General. Okay? So until that happens, until that door is shut, where we say we do not want to have anything to do with England nor the Privy Council.
All right.
It will always be that way.
All right. Okay. Here's a quote. The King now. Yes, the King now. Here's a quote. Here's an oath, Michelle and Herbert and listeners. I do swear that I'll be faithful and bear true allegiance to to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to the laws of Jamaica, and that I'll faithfully observe the laws of Jamaica and fulfill my duties as a citizen of Jamaica to help me God.
God save the King.
But, so help me God. But guess what? It was first to the Queen, i.e. the King. It was first.
Yeah.
First to the King. Yes, that is correct. I'm the person who mentioned it. Absolutely. Arguably, shouldn't all Jamaican citizens have a British passport then?
There you go. There you go.
There
you go. All right, Silver. And Matundo can allude to this, right?
Yeah.
If you have a child in Jamaica, and you can say, yes, he's my legitimate child. As much as he was born in Jamaica, he can then go and apply for his UK passport. Yes. Because one of his parents are British.
Yes.
Are you going to tell him, no, you're born in Jamaica, so stay at Jamaica and build up Jamaica? Where's the progressiveness?
Yes. However, this is the focus really is not on the average. And I know your point, and it's not on to the average citizen or police that they cannot have dual citizenship or they cannot have different passports. But it is for those who are serving, and as Andrew Olney says, the ultimate leader. I don't know where he got this ultimate leader from, but I saw like
nobody was born an MP. They all came from grassroots.
Yes, they came from the society.
Yes.
Yes.
So that argument is out the door. They all came from Grants Pen, Cherry Gardens, Manchester, wherever. So you're telling me that when a Jamaican wants to make a child, they have to take the plane and go back to Jamaica?
Michelle,
because the time must be born in Jamaica.
Yeah, Michelle, what's your take on that point there? The big debate about the leader should only have one passport or one citizenship, and I'm talking Commonwealth wise. It's already determined for citizens in America or so, non-Commonwealth countries. But what they're trying to do is to get any leader, they must have only one.
Right.
One
No.
allegiance.
Because what they're saying is that if anything happened, him can't always
Runway.
But even if anything happened and you only have and a prime minister or president only have one waiting in it, them don't fly out anywhere. Them can't fly out anyway. So that is poor. I'm gonna keep on saying I think that all of this is irrelevant. It's just irrelevant to me. There is bigger fish to fry, other things to think about to better the country. The country. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Than we're dwelling on that. And you're gonna make that a campaign for campaign about. That's bull.
Yes.
Yeah, it shows that they have nothing to talk about. They have no policy to create, no policy decisions to be decided upon. And the
Talk
best
about
thing they
what you
can
can
do is
offer.
go for the
Tell
low
me what
mango.
you can do. Stop talk about the next man. Tell me what you gonna come in here and do for the country. That's what me want to hear. We don't want to hear about the next man. Let the next man talk about him and what him all do.
Yes.
That's what me see.
Is that everybody in red today? Is that Arsenal? Is Arsenal? Is that Arsenal fan?
See, bro, not because you're a Man United fan means you can have an Arsenal fan on TV.
I'm Chelsea. Let you know.
Huh? Make it even worse. Chelsea playing championship next season.
Hey, Matundo, how are you? Can you hear us?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm cool in the man.
Hey, my brother.
You know.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle.
Yes. So I guess this is a full dual citizenship classroom here.
Man, can you have 3 passports, one for Lionel Town, one for Jamaica, and one for England.
Matunda, we're on the same trajectory in regards to this whole bit regarding dual citizenship, and the whole point that I factored in was, where is the unpatriotism in dual citizens? Where is this? Is that the emphasis is on dual citizens, persons with different passport, British passport, Jamaican passport, that they are disloyal, they're unpatriotic, they should never be in parliament, they should never be the prime minister because they're unpatriotic. That's the message. That's the message coming through. So therefore, that's what I want to take off the English one. Take off the English thing off of my shoulder, you know what I mean? That's for the Jamaican passport, the British passport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Martin, I will take off your Arsenal shirt because that's not Jamaican.
That's not.
No.
And that's again, a lot of Jamaicans have teams in England, isn't it?
I mean, I suspect that's not the real issue. The issue that they're saying is you have an allegiance to another country, and that they say would compromise your position as it relates to standing up for and defending Jamaica.
Yes.
I mean, those sort of notions are really reflective of a bygone era when nation states were really at war with each other more frequently, and when diplomacy was less the way to settle matters. We're talking about the Napoleonic Wars, and even we go back to as early as the the Roman Empire, because they were the first to have introduced a passport. But in a modern era, concepts of allegiance and patriotism are only utilized if you're charging people for treason and those things. But more importantly, when I think about this topic, I ask myself this question: what is the best way in which one demonstrates his or her allegiance to any country at all? And I always go back to the sort of test that's usually used in immigration law, is your willingness to comply with the law of the country that you're either in or to which you're a member.
Yes.
And if I have a simple test, if you cannot demonstrate to me that persons with dual citizenship are more inclined to commit crimes, are more inclined to break the rules of their society, in this case Jamaica, then I'm not so sure the argument stands up. It's a weak argument, and it's a desperate it's a desperate attempt at encouraging persons who have kept with the law to somehow disregard their own commitments to observing the law. If I've observed the law and I haven't broken the law, why are you criticizing me? So if it goes back to what I say, your commitment to the rule of law. Can you say that persons with dual citizenship are less committed to the rule of law? What does that mean in practice? Are you adhering to the laws in the country, or are you someone who flouts the law and does not believe in equality before the law? Case in point, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. The Prime Minister, he hasn't had. Some persons think that he is flouting the law by not producing his declaration or in a manner which would allow them to be certified by the Integrity Commission. That to me is a demonstration, a potential demonstration, I should say, of someone who is not committed to the rule of law. Someone who goes into a television studio and somehow declare, knowing full well that he is the prime minister and what he says has weight. He declares in a television studio effectively his version of what the rules should be for anyone who wants to qualify to be a prime minister. To be a prime minister, I say that is, to me, is a demonstration of a level of antagonism towards the Constitution, and also a respect for the procedures in the Constitution, how you go about changing something, especially we're talking about, I think, days after the Constitutional Review Committee had effectively told a ministerial paper was promulgated, and in that paper, nothing to do with what the Prime Minister is saying. Share political opportunism, and also a clear demonstration of the Prime Minister's consistent disregard for the Constitution. I mean, I don't think anyone can challenge me on that. This Prime Minister has been on record, both as opposition leader and as Prime Minister, showing disregard for the Constitution, and that's what we're having now. This is a fictitious debate.
Yes.
And because I tell you what, to me, is a more worthy debate right now. 30% of Jamaican secondary school students, only 30%, graduate with 5 or more CXC subjects. That to me is a more urgent debate.
Yes.
Why and how to solve it. I tell you what's more urgent a debate in our country. The fact that the maternal mortality rate is at a 50-year high. It's highest that we've had it in the last 50 years. We're not talking about 1920s and 1930s. We're talking about 2024. What does that mean for us as a nation going forward? When we're obsessed with dual citizenship,
Yes.
as opposed to these more critical things? What is the level of child poverty that we have in our country? Um, that's just three of the things that I think are on top. The Patterson report came out, and this government has done nothing of substance to implement the Patterson report. Sitting down, growing dusk, and I'm referring to the Orlando Patterson's report on education reform, because it is public secret that our educational system certainly needs to be reformed. Our
Yeah.
class sizes are too large.
Yes.
We don't have enough specialist teachers, and
Mm-hmm.
we're obsessing about dual citizenship.
Passport. Yeah.
I mean, this
Yeah.
government ought to be ashamed of itself.
Exactly.
Mm.
Do better than that. Come on now.
Yeah. Like I said,
Everything
we have the
just
low
falls
hanging
by the
fruit.
wayside. It talks about for a little bit when it comes on to saying improving the school system or what, and then fall by the wayside. Come on. And I'm gonna say it again. I'm neither JLP or PNP.
Mm. Well, it strikes me that and Matunda, I like how you sort of broke those bits down, because it's like a wake up call, where we see that somehow we can get caught up in the fanfare of the narrative, which they somewhat maybe want us to follow, or the initiative. It is like I said to someone the other day that somehow the government or whatever have seized the initiative, taken the initiative from the people in regard to the old constitution. And the person said, Silver, no, the people never had the initiative in the first place. The government have always had the initiative in the first place, and take the initiative and run with the initiative. And right now, with what Matumbo has just set out with this whole area of education, it is like this superficial, I would say this superficial thing about if, there's a war or something like that, disloyal and all those sort of things. And it have it in the minds of people up and down the country about this whole thing about US, when there are fundamental things which should be happening, as Matumbo said.
I
And
mean, you
even,
could
even fundamental things like illicit enrichment, fundamental things like signing off to the code of conduct and all those sort of things. Those are key things. Yeah,
I mean, if you ask any Jamaican right now, any Jamaican living in Jamaica or outside of Jamaica, what's more important to you? Whether your leader's ability to make fundamental and radical changes that will improve the quality of the citizens' lives,
yes,
or what if that person inherited a citizenship from his or her father? What's more important to you? I bet you my last pound that they're going to tell you the person's ability to deliver radical changes that will improve the quality of their lives. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that is going to be the answer. Now, if it is a debate or a conversation that we should have, let's have it. But let us not do so because it is politically expedient to do so. I mean, if this was an issue, why is it that it's not mentioned in the report from the Constitutional Review Committee? There's no discussion about it.
No.
If it was that important, so how is it that all of a sudden it has become so important?
It's becoming the top topic. Yes,
It
exactly.
is now the hot topic, and
Yeah.
it just takes us away from the substantive things that we need to address to make the quality of life of our citizens better.
yes.
It pains my heart, and I'm someone who I can discuss constitutional law every day, but I also know that whilst governance is important, guess what? You have to talk about the bread and butter issues, the everyday issues of that obsess people when they go to bed at their bed at night and cannot sleep
Yes.
because they worry about if their children get unwell and have to take them to the hospital, how long they have to wait, are there
Yeah.
sufficient beds, medication. They worry a great deal about how can they
Yeah. I think I called. Maybe it's coming on my tune there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is absolutely spot on, right? I mean, what they're talking about, or what they're trying to talk about coming up to election, has nothing to do with the policies of which they should be discussing. Absolutely nothing. It is just because Jamaicans are emotionally attached to politics instead of examining the policies, right? Why these people can be talking about and seem to be gaining traction.
Jamaicans
But in terms,
are about colors and parties. That's all.
yeah,
Not
they're
the
too
country.
emotionally attached to politics.
That's it. And this is where it comes back to education. Educating the citizens of Jamaica. Start teaching civics in the school from them in a junior high school. You start teaching civics to these kids so that them can in return I'll go back and teach it to the parents. Because right now the parents them lacking. All my mom, well, if she was in politics in Jamaica, you couldn't talk to she right now because all she knows is colors and the color and the party. It's not
Yes.
about the country. And that's how I see it. That's what's happening in Jamaica. The people need to be educated. They need to know what is what so they can think and know the questions and what to be asked and what they and demand what they want as the people. Like I always say, Silburn, the power of the people is more powerful than the people in power. Get together and do the right thing.
Matunde, you're saying something before you're
Sorry, I'm just in a sense I'm agreeing with. Well, Michelle has said it in a more succinct manner. It all comes down to whether or not the people are going to allow themselves to be led by the animals on the farm. That's either you're gonna the people are gonna take back the initiative and say, enough of this nonsense about dual citizenship. Tell us what you're gonna deliver in
Exactly.
in the last year.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you're also right, subjective successive parties or so PNP, JLP. What they should be doing is just wheel and come again and say, hang on a second, what's going on here? It's like you need some sort of level head that comes up and say, listen, we got to stop here. Stop for a second. Let's deal with the substantive and the fundamental issues. I was thinking about this.
Let me just say this real quick, Silver. So this is why it goes back to education, because when you don't know better, you can't do better. You understand me? The citizens them don't know no better, so them don't know if to do it better.
And then they are led by persons who are capitalizing on that.
There you go.
Michelle, like the guest said last week, what's his name last week, Silver?
Mr. McDonald, Christopher,
Malcolm.
Malcolm. Sorry.
You can't live in a country and not know the basic laws or the rules that govern that country. Right? And I think Jamaicans living in Jamaica are more than willing to allow politicians to tell them what they want to tell them for their own benefit. Not for the not for the citizens' benefit, but for the politicians' benefit. They fix it up and dress it up and give it to the man and say, yes, he's the man, she's the woman. Right? So when it comes on to holding them accountable, because each managers have to hold their employees accountable. Each manager has to hold their employees accountable. And right now in Jamaica, the employees are holding the managers accountable. The politicians.
I said to you, animals are in control of the farm. And this is what happens when animals are in control of the farm.
Yeah.
And I'm being serious about it. I mean, can you imagine what we're obsessing? We're spending hours in a nation talking about dual citizenship. A country that has a distinguished or record. We have a migratory population. Fact. We have a migratory population. Remittances bring more to the Jamaican economy than tourism. And when you're making that assessment, you got to factor in the cost of producing the tourism product. It costs less to get the export, if you like, from remittances. It costs less in terms of dollars. You can have an argument about lost human capital. That's a different argument. I accept that. That's part of the conversation. But tourism costs much more to produce than does remittances. But we have a government that is effectively saying to persons like all of us in this conversation, saying, oh, if you live overseas and you've lived there for a considerable period of time and you happen to have acquired an additional citizenship, we don't want you as part of the political directorate. We don't want you, even if you become ordinary resident. It's disinviting people, but at the same time, when you check the document that's been produced by the government as part of the Constitutional Review Committee, the proposed president to replace the Governor General can be a dual national. But the Prime Minister is telling you, but anyone who wants to be a Prime Minister cannot be. I mean, that level of dissonance, I tell you, it's a clear display of the dishonesty that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because if the president can be a dual national, why can't the
Exactly.
It's nonsense. It's just nonsense.
Let me just bring it. Lester, good afternoon there. I think you're on mute. Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm well. A bit jet lagged, but well.
Oh, you're jet lag. Okay. You're not lagging the jet. You're jetting the lag. You brought you in because you said you wanted to come in and so like that. What's your take on the discussion on hand? Before I bring up a point which I wanted to bring up.
Personally, and I had this conversation with Damian Crawford on Wednesday when I was by his house. I don't think any politician that's serving the Jamaican Parliament or the Senate or even the municipality should have dual citizenship. If you're 100% in, you're 100% in. And some of the sentiments that I just have been hearing is unfortunate. There's
Don't tell me it's unfortunate. Tell me why you say what you say. Tell me why you say what you say. Because
what's the rationale
for that? I don't understand it.
Because I mean,
Yes. That's what me want. Tell me why.
Why should we have somebody serving at the highest office with dual citizenship?
No, you didn't say that. You didn't say that. Let's just keep to the fact. You said no one as part of the political directorate, from MP, and those in the municipality. So I'm asking you, what's the rationale for that?
Because if you're 100% in, you're 100% in. Why should you be making decision for somebody, for a group of people who don't have that option to get benefits from a foreign land, right? What is your motive of making sure that the universities, the schools, the water supply, the system is 100%, you're 100% in? That's the Russian. Hold on. I'm
Mhm.
saying to you, how can we know that your motive, right? It is 100% for the island of Jamaica, right? When if something if your decisions are not clear, right? That means that there's a hanging thing hanging over that. Is it because you have some loyalty somewhere else? So I'm saying, why would you want a legislator having an option?
So you're saying now the
Listen,
quality. You
Let
think
Matungo go first and Albert after
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
if I can understand you. Sorry, what's your name?
Lester.
Lester,
Lester. So I'm understanding you. You're saying that once someone does not have a dual nationality, you think that that person ability to craft good legislation and the person's commitment to the legislation is okay as long as they don't have dual nationality. That's effectively what you're
I'm
saying.
saying when you have a commitment to one country, one
Yes,
one one alignment, right?
yes.
It is more digestible that you have this country at heart.
No, no. But how do you arrive at that conclusion? You still haven't explained that to me.
I just said it because if you make decisions, right, and it can be seen that you may have as another
When you're repeating
interest.
what you're saying, I'm asking you, how did you establish
Because
the
your
premise
action,
of your
your action is that you have a dual citizenship. Why do you want a
so
dual citizenship?
okay, so because
As
I
an-
have okay, so because
No,
hold on.
hold on. Why is it that it is a problem, right? For
Yes.
Jamaican, for a Jamaica legislator, right? Legislator Jamaicans to be holding on to a foreign national, foreign citizenship, right? Want to serve in the local parliament or in the local politics. But other great nations clearly outline that you cannot have that, and you have no problem with that. Why not have Americans who were naturalized be the president of the United States also?
Okay, let me answer that question very directly. Our reality is different from the Americans in the sense that I think
Exactly.
you and I would agree that America has a larger pool of persons to call upon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Secondly, I go back to your original point. You still have not
A larger
provided
a
me.
larger pool to call upon for what?
Pardon me?
A larger pool,
To,
pool of person to call for presidency?
Yes.
for
That's not true.
representational politics,
No,
my
I'm
Pardon me?
talking
friend.
about the presidency. That's not true.
Sorry, you don't understand what
What,
I've just
what,
said
what,
to
what
you.
are what are the options that they're displaying right now? Is that from a large pool of people?
Hold on. Let me just
No, no,
bring.
I'm asking a question. The option that we have currently right now facing us from the US side,
Yes.
are you saying that is from a large pool?
Am I saying from a large? What do you mean from a large pool?
I'm repeating what you
Of
said.
course, it's from a large pool. There are more people living in the United States than in Jamaica. So theoretically, they have a larger pool. I don't think we need to disagree on that. How you go about selecting persons, it's a part of machinery thing. But as a matter of basic common sense, there are more persons living in the United States than in Jamaica, and therefore they have the luxury. They can have that sort of luxury. We don't. One of the greatest things that we're facing in Jamaica is a critical shortage of skilled persons. Period. Nobody can debate that. And if we don't have skilled persons overall, the chance of getting skilled persons inside the parliament is certainly significantly reduced. because only certain people will be interested in politics. You still have not provided me
And I'm saying
hold
with
on,
that
you still have not I'm responding to something you said. You still have not provided me with the real evidence as to how you have gotten to the conclusion that someone who only has a Jamaican citizenship in the Jamaican parliament somehow has more ability and is less likely to be compromised in that ability. And I don't understand how you go about arriving at that conclusion.
That's what I like to hear
Because
too. I'm waiting on the answer
up
too.
until Matthew Samuda said that he's a British citizen, I never knew, but I never had any reason. I never had any reason to doubt his commitment.
And if I can even come in right there, I don't see any. I mentioned this this morning. Even Mr. Vaz in 2007, there was nothing in his actions that showed that he wasn't patriotic to Jamaica. And he was,
Exactly.
there's nothing in the actions. Hold on. There's nothing in the action, the way how they perform their duties, that displayed any sort of unpatriotism, any form of disloyalty, save for the fact that they have a dual citizen, save for the fact that through their families, Mark Golding through his dad, Matthew Samuda, because the man was born in England, and the Commonwealth, based on the Constitution says very clear for Commonwealth citizens, I can go back to Jamaica right
Silver.
now. Hold on.
I
Whoa, one second. I can go to Jamaica tomorrow and spend a year in Jamaica, and therefore I'll be qualified to run as an MP, as a senator, and ultimately a prime ministership. And there's no doubt about my loyalty to Jamaica. As a matter of fact, my loyalty to Jamaica is more than even to the UK.
Silver.
Lester, let me ask you a question.
If there's somebody from Canada or Antigua or any other Commonwealth country can go live at Jamaica and run at the parliament also.
Of course.
Sorry,
This is
what is wrong
madness.
with that?
Lester,
What
let
is
me ask
wrong
you a
with that?
question.
This is madness.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Given the quality representation our people have had, do you think it can get any worse? Do you think a person's inability and lack of competence to be a legislator is somehow connected to their passport or their DNA and their experience? Which of them?
And my answer to
You're
you
asking the same
remains.
question that I want to ask too.
My answer to you
Pardon me?
remains the same. My answer to you remains the same, right? I'm saying actions can be seen that they have alignment or interest
That's a
based on
fictitious
that they have a.
argument.
No,
That's a
no,
fictitious
no, no,
argument.
Lester. No.
Come on,
Listen,
Lester,
Fictitious
man.
argument, Lester.
your argument is fictitious also
No,
because
my
you're saying
argument
that.
is based on evidence. I've just
Hold on.
given you two pieces of
Hold
evidence.
on.
Darrell Vaz was a dual citizen in 2007. No one could point to him and say because he's an American citizen somehow he was conducting himself for that short period in a manner that was inimical to the Jamaican
That's
interests.
your opinion.
That's a fact.
Lester,
No,
let me
that's
Can
ask
you
you a
your
provide me
question.
with any evidence?
opinion. That's your opinion.
So can you provide me with okay? Let me give you something more recent. Can you
Hold on.
provide me with any? Can you provide me
No,
with any
no,
evidence
no, I
that
cannot.
Matthew
No, I cannot.
Samuda was
You have
anything
an
less than a
answer.
patriot? Can you
Listen,
Okay,
let
provide me with evidence?
Matthew finish. Let Matthew finish, and then listen.
Can you provide me with evidence that Matthew Samuda has been anything but a devoted patriot in service of the Jamaican people? Can you?
no, I cannot.
Okay,
But,
that's right.
but I'm saying to you also, right? Can you provide me with evidence, right? That he has that he had no other ulterior motive, no other interest?
Come on, listen.
Lester,
I'm
Lester, let me
asking.
ask you a question. No,
I'm
Herbert,
sorry to say,
Lester,
Lester, you're not making any sense right now.
This is not a conversation. This is metaphysics.
Herbert, go ahead.
let me ask you a question, Lester. You live in the Netherlands, yeah?
Yes.
You happen to father a child in the Netherlands. right? Would you want that child to have a Jamaican passport?
I never thought about that. It doesn't matter to me.
No. I'm asking a question, and we're having a discussion. Would you want that child to have a Jamaican passport? Yes or no? Would you want that child to go back to Jamaica to do something, represent Jamaica in some shape or form?
Like personally, no.
No, yes or no?
No, personally, not. I wouldn't want them. What a child would want.
All right.
Come
So
on, as a father, wouldn't you want your child to somewhat be linked intrinsically with your country? I mean, every week or every month or so in the UK, we have a situation whereby persons go to the High Commission and they get their Jamaican citizenship, right? Pika was here in 2022 encouraging Jamaicans in the diaspora to get your citizenship, get your passport. Some of them are calling on cussing me and say, boy, I don't get the thing as yet. Because I was integral in supporting it and promoting it. A lot of Jamaicans got their dual citizenship.
Yeah.
They became citizens of Jamaica. Jamaica encouraged it.
Yes.
Parents encouraged it. I'm going to be getting citizenship for my children too, because I want them to be having that book. I want them to have that book. You know, I want them to have that book. Yes, I want them to have that book. Right? Proud of Jamaican. And no one can say to me that I'm disloyal because I have a dual citizenship. Come on, Lester. I think you're being political.
Well, I'm gonna say, I have
It's not
two kids that is born in.
It's
Sorry,
about
Mr.
intentions.
What
It's about
intention?
you guys are being stickler on the word disloyal. I'm saying there can be, because of the dual citizenship, because of your alignment with a foreign nation, right? How do we know that the decision you make, right, is on behalf of Jamaica 100%?
So
But if you go to the parliament, if you go to the parliament, why is it difficult to give up a citizenship?
But the man never said it was difficult. Did the man said it was difficult? I think he said when that time come, he'll cross it. Isn't it what he said?
Yes, that's what he said.
Okay.
And right now, there's no need for him to do that,
And
because
right there now, there's no need.
Matun, what's his name? Samuda, don't need to do that. I mean, I sent him a message and said, brethren, keep your passport, brethren. Keep your citizenship. You're born in England. The Constitution provides for you to be what you are. And no one, and I cannot see, listen, if Matthew Samuda didn't say that he was a British citizenship, I would think nothing else than this guy loved Jamaica and this guy is doing his water.
Why you encourage him to keep the passport?
I'm sorry, sir?
Why you encourage him to keep the passport?
How do I encourage him?
Why?
Why? He said why?
Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I encourage anyone? The guy's entitled.
I'm asking what is the benefit of him keeping the passport? That's all I'm asking.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what the benefit of it is. The benefit of it is that the guy was born in the UK.
Yes.
Right? The guy actually have a British citizenship. The Constitution of Jamaica, Section 39, allows. It is not like America with bars bits. The Constitution of Jamaica allows, according to Section 39, because he didn't even have to swear allegiance. He got it by virtue of his birth.
Silburn, did you hear my question? Why did you encourage him to keep it? I'm not talking about the Constitution. What was your personal?
Legally,
because he has no.
The man has a legal right to his passport.
The Constitution provides for it. He's allowed to do it. He's not illegal.
Okay, so listen. Let me ask you a question. Why shouldn't he had encouraged him to keep it?
Because I'm a legislator, And if
And your point is,
and for me, again, this is my personal thing, you know.
Okay, your personal opinion.
Right?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's not my personal thing, and I said that from jump,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Lester,
and what I'm saying, you know,
I
is
think I'm being
different.
a devil's advocate here, Lester, because you said you sound different some other time before, but you come in like a devil's advocate.
Lester, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Does a child
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
a child have control in the country in which they were born?
No,
Good. So when that child comes of age, right, and decide to go back to their motherland, the land of their parents' birth, are you saying that when they decide when they so decide, they must just go with a Jamaican passport?
I'm saying, right? If you want to serve in our Jamaican Parliament, right, and you were born in another country, or you were naturalized, right? If you're 100% in, you're 100% in. What is the reason for you to want in dual citizenship and be serving in our Parliament?
Well, let's
Just
say you
your
sound,
argument no hold no water.
let's say you almost sound like the Prime Minister a while ago. You tried to.
Your argument
This
no
is
hold no
like
water,
a
Lester.
dog chasing his tail.
Because you keep going around in circles
It's
and
like a
can't
dog
get
that's
to the
chasing his
point.
tail. Just
Silver. No, hold on, Silver. That's not fair, Silver, because the Prime Minister never said that.
The
What
Prime
I am
Minister
saying,
said,
no,
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 the
no.
Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister said anyone who is going to serve at the highest office as the ultimate leader, like King Pong Kyun, they need to actually have one. That is what he said. And then somebody said to him, well, if that's the case, brethren, put it on the referendum, on the recommendations then. Put it in the recommendation, because it is not in the recommendations of the Constitutional Reform Committee based on what the Prime Minister said.
And I
so
agree,
that
but
should not
Silver,
be an issue, and you guys should start campaigning on something
That
else.
was politics.
no,
Campaign on what is
That was
important to the
Politics is going
country.
after low hanging fruit.
Can I respond?
It's,
Can I
it's,
respond?
it's.
I wholeheartedly disagree with Andrew Holness's point of view. He said that he has no problem in allowing members of parliament or senators or even councillors having dual citizenship. Didn't he say that?
So are you trying to
I'm
preach a
asking you.
Jamaica first?
Hold on. Did he
Sorry.
say that?
Said what?
Yes, he said it.
Okay.
So
I disagree with that. I'm saying
why?
if you want to, because more of it sure say 100% in.
Do you know what I was thinking the other day? Say, I don't know why these politicians see this political thing as some career thing that they need to last there for 20, 30 years until they become golden OH home and wheel out in a wheelchair. Really and truly, brethren, this thing should be like a 5 years, 10 years service. Not 20, 30, 40 years.
Let's
Right?
say
Hold on. As far as I'm concerned, a craft is a craft. And therefore, if a politician or someone is astute and they say, listen, mommy, I'm going to go to Jamaica and serve for 10 years or 5 years and to build Jamaica. I love Jamaica so bad, right? And then guess what? They will go back home or go back somewhere else. I don't see the reason why Matthew Samuda should give up his citizenship.
yeah.
For Britain. I don't see the reason for Mark Golding to separate himself from his father's heritage. Why?
Yeah, like he trying to prove something. It's like y'all want him to on the one outward validation, being validate on him. He must validate himself.
So
Herbert, yes.
Lester.
That's something you see. Lester, okay, let me ask you a question, Lester. What passport do you travel on? What you are you waiting in there where you're living now?
No.
Oh, you're still a Jamaican citizen. You still hold on to your Jamaican citizenship.
We travel on my Dutch ID and my Jamaican passport.
So you're due.
Why is it Dutch ID then?
That's the only way we can travel now.
No man. That's your Dutch ID.
Eh?
Don't use a Dutch ID. Don't use it. Use a Jamaican passport only. Because you're saying Jamaica first. Use a Jamaican passport.
Right. So all we can
Don't
trust
use it, no
you now
Chinese.
that you are for.
Hold on. Your argument is null and void because I am not
No.
trying to. No, hold on. Let me respond to you. I'm not trying to serve in the parliament. I am saying, but I am not a dual citizen. I am not a dual citizen, you know.
Mm.
I mean,
I
You're
want
still a Jamaican
I
citizen.
want passport, my man.
let me ask you a question,
No,
man.
no, no citizen for one country and not a Jamaica.
Let me ask you a question. Is it Lester or Leslie?
Leicester.
Leicester.
Lester. Clearly there have been Commonwealth citizens in our parliament before.
Yes.
Have you bothered to check if, since our independence, the number of Commonwealth MPs we've had, and whether or not, when they perform their job, their function for which they were being paid, that you found them wanting in terms of their loyalty?
There have been persons in our parliament that weren't even Commonwealth citizens and they were citizens of other countries.
They were what?
There have been parliamentarians in our parliament that weren't even Commonwealth citizens,
Yes.
and their actions
Yes.
was deemed disloyal.
Give me an example.
What's the name
Um,
of the person?
the gentleman that was born in Panama, try to remember his name,
What era?
in the 70s.
Okay, and what is it that he did?
Well, I won't divulge certain things here
Well, you
because
can't
I
be
have
making
no.
them sort of assertion.
Allow me to finish my statement, please.
Mm.
I'm saying I have no concrete evidence to provide at the moment,
Okay.
this moment right now. So I would
Okay.
not say, I would not repeat the actions.
So that's one person. Yeah, that's one
Yes,
person out of over 600 or even more.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
And you want to you are you using that as a basis for your argument, your
One of
position?
even even the current opposition leader, some of
Yes.
his utterances, right,
Mm-hmm.
and his
Mm-hmm.
action and his intent to me is
I don't
not
know. Mm-hmm.
is not for the betterment of Jamaica. That is
For
my
example, for
hold
example.
on. That is
No.
my personal opinion.
You've said something for which you can evidence it. Give me two examples of his utterances.
All right. He said that if we are all in regarding the constitution, right? And leaving the Privy Council, we should be all in, not one foot here, one foot there. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he is not all in. He's saying that we should leave Britain totally,
Okay, let
right?
me help.
Which
Let me walk you back to what
I
you
agree.
said. Okay,
Let Matunda help you right there at that point.
let me walk you back to what you said. You said that there's some of his actions and I suspect pronouncements that cause you to question his commitment to Jamaica, and you give us an example. His statement where he was referring to the illogical position of saying I'm abolishing the monarch,
Yeah.
I'm moving the monarch as a head of state whilst wanting to continue going to the monarch's court. And he says, you know what, we cannot be fowl nor fish, something of the sort. And
Yeah.
you say on the basis of that and that statement, you say, well, he shouldn't have said that. If he's going to make that statement, then it means he cannot. His actions must be questioned because he's a British citizen who has renounced. Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Also,
hold on. Let's just stick to one. Let's just stick to one. Let's
hold
just stick to one. Let's just stick to one. I want to stick to one.
I just want to welcome Mr. Patterson there, and Mr. Patterson, thank you for joining from UIC.
Good.
And then
So,
you can come in after a bit there. Yeah.
so I'm asking you, Leslie. I'm not
Lester.
so sure. Lester, sorry. I'm not so sure how you've jumped from that to say he has intent that would make him unsuitable. You might say, I can understand you say, well, how can he retain his citizenship status by and at the same time saying that he wants us to leave fully? I can answer that question for you, because you can be a British citizen and you can be a British citizen who does not believe that there should be a monarchy. Simple as, all right? That kills that argument.
Exactly.
No,
Yes.
no, it doesn't. But
What do you
continue.
mean?
But it
No,
doesn't.
it
But
doesn't.
continue, but it doesn't.
Hold on, sorry. Are you saying to me that every British citizen, yes, is somehow in love with the monarchy?
No, I never said that. You are
Good.
saying that. I'm saying
No,
Mark.
I'm not saying that. Don't tell me I'm not saying.
That
I
is
didn't
not
say
what
that.
he said, Lester. That is not what he
I'm
said.
saying how you come by every British citizen? How?
All right.
Let's speak about one.
No, because
Okay.
you have just said one British citizen who happens to have said away with the monarchy, away with the Privy Council. Somehow
Yeah.
he's conflicted. How is he conflicted?
Okay. Let's stick a pin right there.
Lester, your best
Okay.
response to me should be, well, we're talking about a British citizen
No,
who is in Jamaica.
don't tell me what to
That
say.
should be no, but
No, no,
that should be a response.
don't tell me what to
Okay.
say.
That's the weakness
Okay. Let's
in my
I am
response.
saying that he's disingenuous.
all right.
No,
Let's just stick.
that's not what we're talking about. That's not what
All
we're
right.
talking about. You're shifting the conversation.
No,
I've
I'm not.
asked you. No,
I
I've
have seen
asked
you
you to show me. Give me
when
an
I think about his
example. Sorry,
accent.
sorry. I've
Yeah.
asked you to give me an example. Give me an example of a MP in the past, and you said, "Well, I can't really give it." But you said, "Okay, look at the current leader of the opposition. I'm going to give you an example of why I say that his motives can be questioned, and you give as an example something that he said, and you did also refer to his actions, but you have not referenced that."
Yeah. All right. Let's stick a pin there, Mr. Patterson. Sir Patterson, if you're there, let me see. Okay, he moved to himself there.
Yeah, when first glass.
Sorry.
You went first glass.
Oh, okay, yeah. It is very interesting. Where we're at this juncture, and it shows the whole discussion as to this whole dual citizenship. And my point is this, and I'm saying it again. The craft of someone who actually want to come into a country, a nation where of their parents or so, yeah, they were born overseas, but they love the country and they want to come and contribute, not just financial, but contribute politically. And I'm going to try to
culturally.
I'm sorry?
Politically and culturally.
And culturally. And we want to bar them based on some sort of supposition as to say, what if the war? What if there's a war or all these sort of things? I keep hearing all these different arguments, and nothing can be justified with any sort of what should I say? Any official evidence to that effect. No evidence.
Listen, let me ask you. Do you think an English-born citizen or English-born Jamaican citizen should represent Jamaica at any sporting event?
Oh, Mr. Patterson is back. Well,
No.
let's mute there.
Why?
Okay.
No.
Why?
Because there's enough talent in Jamaica to
Stop talking
represent Jamaica and investment.
Come on, let's
Hold on. Gentlemen, hold on. If somebody asks a question and I don't have the right to my opinion,
No, I didn't say that. I said don't talk nonsense. I didn't say that. I'm a very straight talking person. Lester. What you say is nonsense.
So hold on. So if you're saying that it's okay, in your opinion, for a British-born citizen, right, who has Jamaican heritage, to represent Jamaica, and that's fine
No,
with you.
that's not what he said. That's not what he
No,
said.
I'm asking you that question. It's fine with you.
No, blogging God. Let's leave that. Let's leave.
Okay, and it's nonsense.
Why is it nonsense?
You see what I mean? So
In
hold on.
1998,
Hold on.
hold on.
So
In
hold on.
1998, when Robbie
So
Earl scored her
I'm
first
not
goal.
allowed to have an opinion, Matunda. I'm not
Okay,
No,
allowed
no,
to have
I'm
an
not
opinion.
saying you're not allowed to opinion. I'm saying you
Yes.
must go beyond that. You must go
all right.
beyond that.
Mr.
Yes?
But
Patterson,
you
how are you, Mr. Patterson? How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. I just had to just because time is going. What's your take on this world tour, Matsuno? What's
Well,
your
first of
take?
all, I was enjoying the conversation.
Oh, you want me
I
to go into
think
the conversation then?
I think I think we have to step back a little bit and look at the what we're trying to achieve as a country.
Yes.
Our goal as a country is really to figure out how we can get to a place where we have good governance, where we can manage our resources properly, we can develop our people properly, we can make Jamaica into a first-class nation. Now, I find it a bit unfortunate if we get to the place where we start to diminish each other based on whether or not we have dual citizenship, based on whether or not we happen to be made, in many cases, economic refugees, because a lot of Jamaicans left Jamaica, not because they want to leave Jamaica, but because Jamaica has not been able to afford them maximum
There you go.
possibility. And so they leave Jamaica and they make something of themselves in other countries.
Yes.
And then they would like now to return to Jamaica and contribute to the building of Jamaica. Should we ask them to give up their earned citizenship of another country and the benefits of those citizenship in order to come back and contribute to a country which is highly risky? I myself am a dual citizen, so I'm a bit conflicted in the whole thing, and I would be biased in that regards because I'm a Canadian as well as a Jamaican. Now I returned from Canada to Jamaica the last 13 years, and I've been taking a lot of hits and suffering a lot of indignity in an attempt to lend my services to my country. And I'd like to encourage many other Jamaicans to do the same, whether they're British or German or Canadian or US. I don't see us getting very far as a country if we don't recognize how important it is to embrace all Jamaicans, regardless of where they may even be domiciled. I think we
Exactly.
should create a new paradigm of Jamaica, one where Jamaica is bigger than even just the piece of rock that we're on, and it embraces all Jamaicans. So we stop playing these political games about persons' citizenship status in addition to Jamaica. To give you
Mm-hmm.
an example of how well dual citizenship works, Canada, which has been around for about 157 years now, in their system of governance, every single politician may be a dual citizen without any problems legally. The Constitution simply requires that you be a citizen of Canada. Whether you're a citizen of Canada and also of the UK or Germany or France or Canada or the US for that matter, doesn't factor into the equation. What the Canadians have looked at is your competencies, and they leave it to the voters to decide whether or not you bring the kind of character and ability to the table. I'd like for Jamaica to move in that direction, where we move away from playing these games and allowing hypocritical politicians from either side. Because when it's the PNP's turn, they will use these kind of things against, my leader Barney and that kind of foolishness. And when it's the GLP, they'll do the same thing. We need to move away from this kind of divisive, foolish politics and recognize that more than half of Jamaica lives outside Jamaica. And oftentimes
Exactly
the
right.
best of Jamaica, oftentimes the best of Jamaica leaves Jamaica. So as soon
Yep.
as a nurse becomes qualified, a teacher becomes qualified, a police officer makes it up the ranks, an engineer becomes qualified, in no time they leave Jamaica and they go abroad. And what happens when they go abroad? They get exposed to systems and technologies and
Correct.
experiences. It enriches
Correct.
them. Why don't we want to bring that back? Why do we want to ostracize these people? Why do we want to make them feel less than? In fact, if UNP was government today, we would make it so that every single Jamaican around the world can vote by absentee ballots. that every single Jamaican around the world can return and run for office without giving up anything that they've earned anywhere. What we want is to bring this talent pool back home and reverse the brain drain. We're going about this the wrong way. We continue to divide our people, distract our people, and even deceive our people as opposed to uniting our people.
Yep. And just to satisfy self. And it's all about self. That's the way I see it.
What do you
Exactly.
Yes.
What do you think, Mr. Patterson? Like we're on the eve of the diaspora conference now, whereby they're saying, "Come, people, come and contribute and everything. Invest, invest, invest." And this sort of debate, which is happening now, from the ultimate leader.
I blame the diaspora, particularly the more vocal ones and those who are in more of the elitist position. They have continued to play this Mickey Mouse game with the government of Jamaica, where they say nice things and have nice conferences without any substance, telling us that the diaspora must continue to invest. The kind of investment we need in Jamaica is, first of all, a change to our governance model so that it finally starts to work with proper checks and balances. For example, if I were in a position to lead the diaspora, here's what we would demand and make sure we get in our government. Number one, have an elected Senate so that our senators can now truly represent constituents instead of representing parties. Have subject matter experts as ministers of government as opposed to having politicians who may not have the competencies or skills. Have an
There you go.
executive body that is elected and separate from the legislator, so we have proper checks and balances. Have the diaspora been given the right to vote, to register to vote from overseas, and therefore you reduce the impact of vote buying, removing private money from the campaign financing and start having public financing of candidates, not political parties, by giving them equal access to radio, television, newspaper, internet, town halls, and debates. If we focus on good governance, that's the best investment the diaspora can make, and then the money will follow. Once the diaspora know that Jamaica is safe, clean, orderly, that when they come and spend their money here and invest their money here, it's not going to be stolen either by direct political corruption or somebody killing them and taking it, or employees that are incompetent and focus on being inefficient as opposed to being efficient and effective. So we have to shift. And I'm disappointed with the diaspora because many in the diaspora keep sitting out there having these talks with politicians and government that are going nowhere, as opposed to getting behind the UIC and owning this party and using it to getting the kind of changes we need in Jamaica. That's the direction we need to go. Let's own our own party and move away from these that are controlled by the PSOJ and the colonial powers, and having a party that works for us to create the Jamaica that we want, Jamaica that we need, with the structure of governance that will make Jamaica no less than Singapore.
And
Matunda.
Silbert,
Sorry, Herbert, yeah, go on.
I've always said to you that the diaspora, members of the diaspora, is using the name diaspora as a way to gain political mileage, right? Having softball questions or discussions with the government to further their political ambitions, right? They're not representing themselves. They're representing millions of Jamaicans that live overseas. But it all comes down to what can you do for me? Yeah. Because I live overseas, I want to come back, but I needed to do this and it no, right? And for me, the diaspora is much more than that. The diaspora is about representing maybe 1 million or 1.5 million people that lives overseas who wants to go back, but is finding it difficult to go back because of the unstable nature of the island in terms of providing security for people wanting to go back to Jamaica.
Yeah, that's the one reason why I'm muting you, because I'm getting that feedback from yourself. I don't know if you want to say, Michelle, want to respond to Mr. Patterson. Let's see, you want to respond to Mr. Patterson or anything. Or Matunda. Yeah. Mr. Patterson, you want to say something, Matunda?
I wanted to say, go ahead.
I mean, I agree with the general sentiment expressed by Mr. Patterson. Yeah, I agree with it because, as I said when I just started this evening, we have a critical shortage of talent in Jamaica. This is a fact. It's a fact. I mean, only my
Yes.
brother there in Holland seems to disagree with that, even though the evidence and the data tells a different story. I mean, we can't muster 100 special education needs teachers
But
right
Matilda,
now.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I've never said that.
Matunda,
Please
wait.
don't.
Sorry, Blocky. After
No,
Matunda.
no, no. But
No, no, but
you said,
no, but Leslie, Lester, Lester, you did say that in response to the question that Herbert Cole asked you that we have the talent in Jamaica. The implication of that is that we don't need people from the diaspora because we have the talent in Jamaica. And I'm saying to you that cannot be correct.
All right, let's just speak now.
Yeah.
I never said that.
So let me
He
just
hold on, no. Listen, don't be disingenuous, Matunda. He asked about sports. Sports. So I was answering the question relegated to sports. I have said on this program many times, and Silburn is there, that Jamaica is short on skilled people. I've said that.
Sorry,
Okay,
Matunda.
but Mr. Can I just add something to this, Mr.
No. I'm saying that you must admit that I did not say that Jamaica don't need
No,
skilled people from the
I've just said
diaspora.
to you, I apologize.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry.
I heard it. I heard it, Lester.
Lester, you
So
never heard that.
Can I add something to what
If you hear it, Michelle, if you hear it, Amina hear it. How that makes sense?
No, everybody has heard it, but you
No,
didn't
no,
hear it.
I did not hear it, Matunda.
Okay, sorry. Okay,
No,
fine.
listen,
My apologize. My apologies.
It's no problem.
My apologies.
My problem, my issue. Hold on. My issue is clear. My issue is clear. If you want to serve in the Jamaican politics, right? You have a foreign national. When I do go back, right? Because I soon get my Dutch passport, and if I want to serve,
passport.
hold on. And if and when I do go back, and if I want to serve, right? Even just working in an agency, right? I have no problem giving up my Dutch nationality. No problem.
Okay.
And me.
But Mark didn't say he had a problem giving it up if it comes to that point.
Yeah. Mark, the lead, a good point. The leader of the opposition said that he's not doing anything illegal. So what's the point
Exactly.
here? I mean, it's a smoke screen. It's a smoke. I mean, I've never
Just like
seen someone.
how you have the speaker in the house who is the prime minister's wife, and because it's not against the law, she can do that.
Yeah, but
right?
Here comes this point. One last point.
I'm sort of controlling it. Let Mr. Patterson speak here, please. Sorry.
I feel I'm going to be shifting a little bit, but I wanted to add to what the gentleman was saying earlier about the skill pool in Jamaica. You might not know this, but every year from our high schools, about 70% or more of our students graduate without having the basic skill set required to be effective.
We said that earlier.
They don't have the ability to read with understanding, comprehend effectively, to analyze effectively, to compute effectively. That's 70% or more. The 30% or so that comes out with the basic credentials, within a year to 2 years, if they make it to university or college, more than half of that group will leave the country shortly thereafter. So what you have over the years is a concentration of the wrong kinds of Jamaicans in the country, and not enough diluting effect of having a good mix of those who are not so competent with those who are more competent, and so on. Now, let's look at the net effect of all of this. If you look at Jamaica since independence, we inherited a bus service, GOS bus service, which was operating quite well.
Yes.
And shortly thereafter, it was gone. We inherited Air Jamaica as a profitable airline from the colonial powers that were running the country, a profitable airline. And by the time of Bruce Golden, we had to sell it because it was very unprofitable and wasn't being managed properly. We similarly lost our airports. We had to lease them out to foreign entities to run the airport because we couldn't run them. We lost
flour mills.
We
The
lost
railway?
we lost the railway. We couldn't run the rail system. We lost the ferry service. Our education system, as all of you on here, based on your age, would know that our education system has gone from a top-notch system, relatively speaking, in the 70s, 80s, and barely in the 90s when I graduated. And it has consistently gone down to the point now where it's totally out of control. And the current prime minister was an education minister. So we can't manage our bus service. We can't manage our road networks. We have now given those, if you have a good road in Jamaica, it's owned by a foreign company managing that road and keeping it good. I went to Singapore recently. I traveled from one end to the next. Singapore is not very big, it's like St. Thomas. I couldn't find a single pothole in Singapore, one single pothole. I had to stoop down and touch the road because I couldn't believe how they're able to maintain their roads so well year round. So we can't manage our roads. We can't manage our bus. We can't manage our airline. We can't manage our airport. We can't manage our agri-industries. Every single industry is failed, whether it's banana or sugar. If it's not in the hands of foreigners, it has to mash up.
What about Alcan?
Well, that was a bit of a different thing. But there are other factors,
What about flour mills, cement mills, the cement mills?
Cement company as well. You understand? We used to do light manufacturing in Jamaica. When I was a boy, there was a place called Metal Box where we used to make small metal things here in Jamaica.
Yeah.
We used to make handy boxes, and we used to make plugs and outlets and switches. No more, none of that. Right now, Jamaica is building a large population of only consumers and sales representatives and people who can work in call centers. And not even that we can do too well because we have a disciplinary problem and we have...
And the scammers take it over.
Yeah. So basically, the truth is we're in serious problems. And as AI becomes more and more prevalent, what it means is you think we have a problem right now with employment. The Prime Minister is lying to us about full employment and all that. It's ridiculous. What we have is we have full employment in low-skilled, very minuscule in terms of productivity contribution to the country. So basically, in a few years, Jamaica is going to have a serious unemployment problem on a scale unimaginable as AI becomes a accompanying part of our productivity base internationally, and the need for Jamaica becomes less and less relevant. We're not in a space internationally, globally, where we're using our strategic location to be able to be a hub between the rest of the world. Even if we have a transshipment port, it will be staffed heavily by foreigners. We'll have the Jamaican people here in body, but they will not be here in terms of brains. They'll not be able to contribute. The longer we take as the diaspora to take over this country and revamp it and remodel it, the longer we take to do that, all the way, whether they're England or Canada or Germany, it's time. If we don't come back, even if you don't come back fully, you can still stay where you are and lend your skills, but you need to have a government which is open to really embracing us, all of us, and finding the best place to utilize us. To say, let's get control of our road. Let's get control of our, for example, I own businesses in Canada and Jamaica. I was behind, because of UIC work, I was behind on filing my annual returns and taxes for the last couple of years. I had to do my Canada one. It took me 15 minutes to get everything done for a few years that were backlogged in Canada. It has now taken me more than 4 days and it's still not done in Jamaica. 15 minutes, it cost me no more for Canada. It was $25 per year that it cost me. In Jamaica, it cost me already over $200,000-$300,000. And I am now 90% up to date on my Jamaican side. I'm 100% up to date on my Canadian side. And the disparity, it brought me to tears when I look at the difference between the two countries. Why is it? And I'm an accountant, I'm a CPA. I have done systems. I work for the government of Canada. I have put in place systems for billions of dollars. Why is it we require you to fill out so many pieces of paper, repeating the same information in different places and forms, causing you to make mistakes all because there's too much. You're going all over the place.
Yes.
In one time. If I put it in one time, the way we design the system there, you enter it one time. It travels to wherever else it needs to go in the system. You don't have to go Form 1, Form 2, Form 10, Form 15, Form 54 to try to get it up. And you put a number here, It doesn't calculate for you. You have to go over here and put it over this side. It is just ridiculous, gentlemen. So what I'm saying is, we in the diaspora, I am 100% sure that we have the brain power across the world of Jamaicans that can fix this country in a jiffy if we had a government that understood this and wanted this, because you have to want it. If you want to keep it the way it is, then corruption will remain rampant. But if you really want to change it and make Jamaica efficient and effective, so all who want to come home can come home, and all who only want to invest can invest, and all who only want to retire can retire, whatever. We don't have the problem. But they want to come home for a day, a month, a year, retire permanently, come back to work fully, whatever it is, or run for government. We need to open up the system and stop putting roadblocks in the way of our fellow Jamaicans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you everyone for coming on. And that point there which you finished, I totally agree with you. And in my opening, in my monologue, this is one of the words I said. Therefore, instead of questioning the patriotism of dual citizens, we should embrace the diverse allegiances that dual citizenship represents. By doing so, we harness the potential of individuals who embody the strength of multiple nations and contribute to a more inclusive, interconnected world. I'm sorry, and unfortunately, the government of Jamaica is very backward. Very backward thinking at this time, and I'll say that simple. And I have no qualms about it. And as far as I'm concerned, and I'll say it again, just like how in the UK, whereby you have after someone serving for 2 terms, I think it's time to give a break. I think it's time for the JLP to give a break and go about your business now. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's over. It's over. That's what I'm saying.
I love the idea of term limits, but I would rather we give the Jamaican people the decision to decide how long somebody is in. The key thing is performance. For example, Mr. Cornew, when he was elected in 1959 in Singapore, he remained in office for nearly 35 years. Over this period, Singapore moved from a backwater country to a powerful country. Why did they do this? Why did the people of Singapore re-elected Lee Kuan Yew so many times? Because he was effective. If we have a Jamaican leader and leadership that is effective, we don't want to just move them up because of term limits. We want to keep them as long as they're able to deliver. Right now in Singapore, they have moved from having somewhere between 90 to 80% of the votes, the PAP party, down to 60%. The people are now giving other opposition parties more seats, but it's not before the PAP party had given that country a solid footing. I mean, if you got a Sidel, if you go there and see,
I saw you. You're showing off there in your shorts, isn't it?
I tell you, I've always studied Singapore. I've always believed in them. I because of their proximity to Jamaica in terms of the time frame of their independence, whatever. And when you see, go to their airport. Singapore has the #1 airport in the world. It's a city by itself within the airport. We just lack the kind of visionary leadership and the focused leadership and a system of governance that will allow us to have that. I am begging you in the diaspora, let's step up. Forget about our allegiance to PNP and GLP. Let's have an allegiance to Jamaica now. And make this correct. Tomorrow I'm going to be on a talk show or a discussion on this issue of a dual citizen prime minister. And I'm inviting all of you to come on. I'll send the link to you, Sidel, and you can send it around to others. But let's talk some more about this, because it's important that we know as a people, just put aside this partisan foolishness and let's get Jamaica fixed. We can make Jamaica better than Singapore.
And stop having allegiance to yourself.
Well, gentlemen, and I want to thank you so much for coming on. Matunda, any last word?
Well, if I offended, but not if, I think I misrepresented what the brother said, and he's justified in feeling disappointed. So I apologize to him again, because this is a forum in which we speak our mind. So I can correct myself again, and I was wrong on that. That's the last thing I have to say.
And Lester?
No, Motunda. No. I've observed you and we have a dialogue before, and you're a straight shooter, I'm a straight shooter. No offense, we're all
Patriots, even with dual citizenship.
yeah, listen, you have your point, you have your view, I have mine. I don't think that your view is or my view is less than your view. You put across your point, and if you feel strongly about it, defend your point to the grave. I have no problem with that.
All right.
One last thing. I agree with about 70-80% of what Mr. Patterson says, and that is rare because usually I don't. The thing about Singapore is that let us also include in the conversation some of the things that Lee Kuan Yew had to do, and if our population is disciplined enough to follow suit, because that's a big part of the conversation in terms of the Singapore effect. We have to look at that aspect also, because Jamaican people are a totally different cultural people than the Singaporeans. You know, so
I
it's
agree
not
with you that on that.
it's not
That,
just saying,
That
hey, just
that
follow
and
suit.
by the way, that is a that
let's I
I've
agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I've heard that said many times, and it is as false as the cross. And I'll tell you why. If you look at the history of Singapore, they were in worse shape culturally than Jamaica. What matters is leadership. A nation will rise no higher than its leaders. And as long as we continue to have leaders who think the way the last 80 years of leaders think in Jamaica, we're going to get what we have. The people will rise if the leadership rises.
Thank you.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And Herbert, last word.
As Jamaicans, we need to get out of this what's in it for me,
Yes.
but put the nation forward for nation building.
Thank you. And Michelle Clark. Ladies, save the best for last.
Stop thinking about what's in it for me and put the country first. That's
Okay.
all I have to say. And the power of the people is more powerful than the people that is in power.
You all sound like candidates for Mr. Patterson's party, but you're not joining.
Well, listen, guys. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. So, thank you.
None of you can get into the parliament. None of
Huh?
What's that?
What was that, Lester?
all of you are dual citizenship, so you can't sit on the parliament. Especially Michelle. Especially Michelle.
And you see, that's where you go wrong.
Michelle, I think more Michelle.
And you see, Lester, that's where you're wrong.
No, let's
No,
just
she's
have
already-
Suppose that
No.
wait, real quick,
No, you see-
real quick,
Michelle is gonna say something. Hold on. Moment of truth.
real quick. I wanted to say you had kids from the 60s and the 50s that was migrated here through their parents, bought here. They're young ones. I came here at the age of 7, right, in the United States, and I'm gonna let you know I'm still not a United States citizen. All of my siblings are, and I'm still not. All
Michelle,
right, hold that, Lester.
Yeah,
All right.
hey, Michelle,
Hold that, boy.
Parliamentarian. Come true, Michelle.
All of my family members are, and I am not. All right.
All right.
Michelle, I still burn do Michelle, I urge you to get your American passport. I urge you to get it, please.
Well, so you can have some month apart.
Advise her.
Eh?
So she cannot sit in the parliament.
All right. Have a good night, Sir Patterson. Have a good night, sir.
Take care,
Thank
all
you.
the best.
So nice to meet you, boss.
Take care. Take
Good
care.
night, everyone.
Soon.
Can see
Thanks
your
for
ears.
coming.
What that? What's
Bye-bye.
What's that? Okay, cool. All right, Bridget. Take care of yourself. Michelle, Herbert, peace out, yeah?
Yeah, peace.
God bless you. Take care. See you. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining the show tonight. And for those on Instagram, those on YouTube, those on Facebook, there's a saying that all ideas must content, all voices must be heard, all opinions must be expressed. And thank you for those who commented on Instagram, on TikTok, and Facebook. It is a very interesting discussion. It is a very interesting time in the movement of Jamaica moving towards a republic. And this discussion will continue over and over again when it comes on to dual citizenship. But there's something that Matunda touched on earlier, that while we're dealing with the so-called superfluous or whatever, I don't know the right word, the frills of this whole area, that there are other key fundamental areas of policy, issues with education that need to be dealt with. So we're not to be sidetracked by the politicking at this time, but to ensure that we deal with the meat and the substance of things happening in Jamaica. And I do encourage and I do welcome every Jamaican everywhere to actually what should I say, to get, my battery was going, to get involved with Jamaica, to and as Speaker said, get your passport, you know, and be a part of the fabric of Jamaica, be a part of it. Get your children to be involved, get your children to get their citizenship as well, because guess what, every other nations are doing that. The Jews are doing that, Asians are doing that. So why not we ensure that we form a part of the bigger picture of Jamaica? And as Mr. UIC said, Joseph Patterson, Mr. Patterson said that the diaspora holds the answer as well and holds the key. And I believe as well that the effectiveness and the potency of the diaspora is when there's an effective partnership with Jamaica and Jamaicans at home. That's my saying. All right. Have a good night. And tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, I'll be having Miss Daniel Archer, attorney at law from National Integrity Action. And we're going to be talking on the same topic, but look at the legal aspect of it. Actually, Miss Archer was involved with the case in 2007 with Mr. Vaz and Abe Dabdoob as well. She was one of the trial lawyers as well. So we're going to have a conversation tomorrow at 9 o'clock for 45 minutes, looking at some of the latest bit in regards to the constitution reform. Civil society plays a fundamental part. Civil society must have a fundamental say. We cannot let the initiative just be left only with the politicians. Because as I said the other day to someone, this is what I said to someone, the initiative has been taken out of the people's hand and it has gone back to the politician. And the person said, Silver, the initiative was never in the people's hands. It was always there with the politicians. But we got to take the narrative somehow and lead. Because guess what? If 37% of people voted in the 2020 elections, general election, and 20-something% voted in the local government election, that means to say that there's a 60-something percentage of people who are not PNP or JLP, or have not voted PNP or JLP. So therefore, who are these people? You've got to reach out to these people, because if there's a referendum, you do not want 30%, you do not want 27%. You need to get at least 60% of people out there to get involved with the whole voting structure. So register to vote. Okay, thank you very much and have a good night, and may God bless you, and see you tomorrow night on the Connecting with Jamaica with Miss Daniel Archer. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.